We're going to have some conversation now with some of the dads and their lads from church. And the first question I'm going to ask to Ben, and that is, what is the daftest thing or the most dangerous thing that you've ever done with you and your dad?
Well, I think the daftest thing was probably in Austria when we probably finished skiing for the day, but we thought, it's a good idea, we'll go up and have another run. But the clouds had dropped, and basically for the full time we were skiing, we couldn't see a thing except from the lights on the chairlift.
David, have you got anything that you've ever said to the boys? Now, whatever you do, don't tell your mum about this.
Not really, actually, because most of the stuff we do, Morag will just understand that's who we are anyway.
Okay.
Probably the one about skiing and maybe going surfing in a thunder and lightning storm was probably one that was the closest we got to saying to Ben, "Don't tell your mum."
Can you think of something that your dad can do that you can't do that you would like to be able to do?
I would quite like to try and windsurf.
Okay. If you were to describe your dad to somebody who had never met him before, how would you describe him to someone?
I'd say he's very funny, and I'd just say he's very gallus.
Funny and gallus. How would you, David, describe your boys?
They're both very different, but both share some similar qualities. Ben's Captain Sensible. He is very dependable, very resourceful. You flip the coin and go to the reverse of all of those, and you have Sam, who's like a Tasmanian devil and makes his life upside down.
Interesting, yeah. Leon, how about Mason? How would you describe Mason to someone?
He's a superstar, you know.
A superstar?
Yep, but my goodness me, at times he does not shut up, man.
Yes, we can all agree with that. Have you ever had conversation together about God, about faith, about Christianity and such like? And is there anything you remember from that kind of conversation? Ben?
One that stands out is the night I became a Christian. And I just remember sitting in bed, and I think I'd done my Bible reading notes that night.
Yeah.
It was Remembering Sunday one year. And I just remember saying I want to do it. And
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. What about you, mate?
I'd say we sometimes do it, and I'd say the best times we do it and the most times we do it is when I'm in my bed, just going to bed. But also, see, when I've got asked to do something for Kids Church to be on the online service and I'm looking in the Bible for like a verse to do, it's that too.
Cool. What about you, Sam?
I remember talking to Jesus when he said to me, "Come on, you've got to become a Christian, you've got to become." So then I just decided, why not?
Cool. Fantastic. And dads, when you look at your boys and put your prediction hats on as they're growing up and get into the future, any ideas what you think they might become? Any thoughts, David?
It's probably a wee bit easier to think about Ben because he's going through school now and he's beginning to pick subjects. So I think he's shown a real interest in sport and sports science. So it'll be interesting to see. I can really see him being, prescribing exercise programs and doing sports science studies. He's got that kind of manner with him. As for Sam, probably a job in the circus, probably just about right. Because he's always bouncing about, swinging about. Whatever Sam does, it will need to involve energy because he's got energy coming out of his ears.
What about you, Leon? Any ideas what Mason might do?
Well, there's been a few things, but I think he's going to be in the sky somewhere. He's going to be flying something, whether it's a plane or a helicopter or I think he's going to be. That's where it always comes back to. It's going to be an interesting journey for him.
Watch this space then. Right, one last question then to the boys. and that is, if you could change one thing about your dad, what would you change?
I would definitely make him less embarrassing.
It's impossible. Sam, what would you?
I would change his annoyingness.
His annoyingness. Yes, Mason, is there anything you would change about your dad?
I want him to be famous.
Okay. Right, okay, yes, you'd want him to be famous. So, Leon, come on.
I think I did well out of that, David. Here, annoyingness and embarrassing. I got famous. Oh.
So we've got an annoying dad and a famous dad. There we are. Well, listen, dads and lads, thank you very much for chatting with me. That's been very illuminating, and I'm sure this will help to make you more famous, Leon, as this goes out online. Okay, boys. Okay, dads. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.